Peace, 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 peace. Peace, 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 peace. It's morning time. It's morning time. We're going to get this lesson going on real fast. And I'll be right back. We're going to get this lesson going on real fast. I have a couple topics for it. I want to illuminate some things that may be misunderstood. This is your morning adapt lesson. If you sleep, you'll be able to watch it when you wake up. But I tell my brothers and sisters, if you eating right, if you living right, you loving right, and you studying right, you get the proper rest, and your body is a machine. But you don't hear me. Brothers say they conscious, and I say, yeah, you're conscious. You're consciously not doing nothing. You're consciously eating like a caveman. You're consciously killing yourself by what you eat and what you drink. And brothers don't understand that. I teach this. This is not no game with me. This is a holistic living. I live this life. And I'm just glad to be able to share this message on this platform, this social media, to share with brothers and sisters. And I challenge everyone to research. So before I even jump into this teaching, I just want to touch over a couple issues. I'm going to touch over the Fezz, and I'm going to go over a few adapt lessons to get things right. So you can know that this science is not a religion, because religion is man-made, and we do nothing in secret. This is our birthright and our nationality. It has nothing to do with a religion or a political thing. I keep telling brothers and sisters, get that westernized European explanation of things out your brain, because you're being caught in linguistic apartheid. So before we jump into this science, let me start off by saying love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, health, wealth, and all that good stuff. All that good stuff. Are y'all asleep? I told you, this is what I do. I rise and grind. I be seeing brothers and sisters, Moors. I say, man, it's fake. None of them are operating 720. All of them just talking. No one is building, establishing, teaching this science, standing up against that religious dogma. No matter if it's a Christian, no matter if it's a Muslim, no matter if it's a Jehovah's Witness, whatever. Religious dogma is religious dogma. Especially my brothers and sisters that's Jehovah's Witnesses, that a religion tell you that you can't even deal with your family member because your religion tell you can't go to certain places or do certain things. That sounds like a form of slavery to me. That sounds like systematic learning. That sounds like programming. That's religious dogma. So today I want to jump into this science and give a little history of what this Muur science is about. Because it should be something under this Fezz, and that's supreme wisdom. And I'm going to go over a couple of things to let you know. That's why we study, and we are philosophers. We are theosophists. We are Sufi knowledgers. We study esoteric science. We are alchemists. We are chemists. We are philosophers. We are thinkers. We are master craftsmen. So let's dig. So I'm going to talk about this Fezz today. The Fezz is an ancient and modern national headdress, family. Even the turban. The turban was worn by spiritual brothers in the churches. Spiritual brothers. So the national headdress of the Moabites or the Moors, the Fezz hat is a brimless headdress, most commonly produced in scarlet red with an ebony black tassel. The red Fezz is matched by the red field displayed in the Moorish national standard flag. When you see the red flag with the green star, you got to ask the questions every couple of years why the presidents go. And you see the corporate flag, and you see the Moroccan flag. You got to start asking questions. You think everything's spookism because you're uninitiated. That's the problem with us. But the red Fezz is matched by the red field displayed in the Moorish national standard flag. The Fezz hat or headdress is also produced in black and white and other color variations, indicating other meanings, other social orders and positions, etc. But the black Fezz is the highest degree. You see me with my black Fezz on? It is worn by the Mufti or the Mohammedan judge, enforcer, and security. The one who wears it symbolizes that he or she knows and understands and studies law in full and is able to defend it, including knowledge of defense like martial arts, defense physically and spiritually. Physically and spiritually. That's the esoteric and the exo. Linked to the martial arts degrees of the black belt. So when you get your black belt, that just means you ready to study. You see? You got brother going around putting titles on themselves, and then we start asking them questions. They get mad because they have no wisdom. They just dressed up. You see? No wisdom. The Fezz is worn as a symbol of the womb. The top of it has a nipple. You see that nipple? That nipple shape that symbolizes the navel. The strand of the tassel are 360. As in 360 degrees of knowledge. The tassel is not pinned down. My tassel is not pinned down, as it is the secret society. See, when you look in those secret societies, they stuff pinned down because they only got 32 or 33 degrees. That's all we gave them. It's just facts. See, our tassel is properly, it's free-flowing. The tassel is indicative of one who is born of the womb, birthright, endowed with an inspiring and beyond 360 degrees of knowledge. That's why when I speak wisdom, I tell brothers, 360 is just the sum total of material knowledge. What we master masons, master craftsmen, what we do, we operate 720. Because 720 is the total sum of material and spiritual. We have to master both the material and spiritual. That's when we master our higher self. That's when we operate total 720. We navigate upon the earth, and our potential is not limited, nor pinned down, or kept a secret. See, well, I don't keep nothing secret. However, it is sacred. Secret and sacred are two different things. Sacred is dear to us. We love to explain it eloquently with our silver tongue to make things clear. When I say ashe, see, nothing I do is in secret. I wear my Fezz everywhere on college campus, lectures, at all my endeavors, because this is my birthright. This is my nationality. I get out that religious dogma. I study all law, and I step on false doctrine. I don't care what color you are, what religion you are. I step on false doctrine. But the four sets of the air holes, you see the four sets of the air holes in the Fezz? You see 1, 2, 3, 4. You see those, right? The four sets of air holes are equal to the number of what? The woman, the 9, and add to what? 13 is the number of times a woman cycle per year, right, women? Come on. Which is in tune with the cycle of the moon. That's why I tell my brothers and sisters, you say you operate 720 and you a master Muur, and you don't even know how to break yourself down and build it up. That's alchemy. That's when I say about your workman tools. You don't even know how to break yourself down and build it back up, and then you don't even know how to show your brother how to break themselves down and build them back up. This is a holistic teaching. You have to eat right, love right, pray right, study right, everything. It's a interrelationship. But you don't get it because you think you know everything. You can look this up, my Muur brother and sister. It's in our lesson books. The Moorish Order of the Round Table. The Fezz is the national headdress of the Asiatic Moorish nation of North, South, and Central Morocco's, Americas, and including the islands. The Fezz hat or headdress is typically a red felt with an indigo black tassel. The Fezz hat is the headdress of the ancient ones, the Moabites, the Moors, also spelled M-U-U-R. It is geometrically formed to represent the eternal zodiac family. The body at the Fezz symbolizes the womb of the cosmos, and the womb of who? The woman. That's why I tell my sisters, you, the Eastern Stars, your white Fezz and your gold tassel, you are Mayat, you are Isis, you are the Eastern Star. The 1-inch final, which extends out of the center of the Fezz, is the number 1. And the 9th letter in the phonetic Moorish alphabet. This also symbolizes what? The navel, the eye. The cord extending from the eye symbolizes the universal what, family? Umbilical cord. Umbilical cord of universal life and represents the oneness of all life. It also represents the tie to the source of humanity. The Zodiacus, who? The first woman. That's what I tell my brothers and sisters. You caught up in religious dogma, Christian, Muslim, all that, talk about some Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Where's the woman? Man don't create life. That spookism, that allegory, that parable talk about a woman came out of man womb, out of man rib. Man, you crazy. There's no birth cycle in that. That's spookism. That's false doctrine. That's mythology. Get out of that crap. You dissing a woman. Without the woman, there is no more life. You missing this science. That's why I tell my brothers and sisters, you are Moors. This is a science. You in religious dogma. Talk about some man. Forgetting your mama, forgetting the queen, forgetting the firstborn woman of everything is God. But you don't get it. You just caught up in religion screaming. The circular round ball of the tassel, the ball of my tassel, represents the mundane circle or earth. You see that? The cord wrapped around the tassel. The cord wrapped around the tassel strands hold the form of the circle. A red represents the unity of life of the zodiac constitution of humanity. It also represents the cycle and reciprocal nature of life. The strands of the tassel represent the 360 degrees of the zodiac, the highest law, a real authority in civilization, brothers and sisters. The zodiac crown of light, the national headdress of the mothers and fathers of the human family, founders of civilization and masters of the cosmos, science, third 33. When I say 33 times 3, that's that 99th primitive right of Memphis and Mizraim, master masons and eastern stars. This is a part of the hidden truth, which has been buried in the dark corner of the north gate. The Fezz symbolize the eternal zodiac. Is also called a tarbush, a tara, Korana, soul, and other names, which describes the royal status. The wearing of the Fezz hat regarding Masons of clandestine orders. When I say clandestine, brothers and sisters, I say in secret. That's why you see those Masons and those things and those they wear the stuff in secret, because it's religion and politics. With us, it's our birthright and nationality. See? Fez is also the name of the old Moorish capital and city, which is located in northeast Morocco. Moroccan, and Moors are one and the same pedigree and people, family. America is a dialectical corruption of the name Al-Moroccan, which means descendant or descendants of Moroccan. The lack of consciousness of law and history on the part of any so-called Negro, Black, Mason, Moor concerning the ancient histories of the Americas has stagnated or retarded the ability to see through the veil of their own hoodwinking. You've been bamboozled, sham, had. Is Fez the city in Europe? That's a question. No. Is the Fez hat the national headdress of the Europeans, or the Fez the national headdress of the Moors? That's the question. Who is wearing the Fez hat only by ritual, and who should be wearing the Fez by the right of natural dress and culture? That's what we're discussing. That's what we're discussing today. Who is who is the great controversy of who is worthy to wear the Fez hat and who is not. So when brothers and sisters be seeing the European Masons, you see what they have on their hats? They have Islam, Morocco, Allah. They take the secret knowledge and use it, and then you shun up on it. Sad, Moors. They taking your knowledge, using it, and then you like, oh, them dirty Moors, them Masons. You don't even know the science. The copying you, and you dissing your craft. Sad, uninitiate. Who is honoring their ancient mothers and fathers, and who is not? Who is denying connection to Ruth? That's why your preacher won't touch certain scriptures in the Bible when you talk about Ruth, Priscilla, Tamara, because those were the Moabites. Those were Moor sisters. Brothers ain't going to talk about it. And who is not, by wearing of recognizing or not recognizing the origins of the great philosophies and wisdom found in the halls of learning called Masonry. I keep telling my brothers and sisters, your brothers, they getting caught up in linguistic apartheid. You getting caught up in European westernized perspective. You getting people getting you caught up in spookism just because they watch YouTube. They don't understand about this masonry and this craft and where it come from. That's why the Europeans wear their Fez in Palestine, because it's a religion and it's political. We wear our Fez. It's a birthright and nationality. We are master masons. I'm going to teach you this science, man. The copying you, and you taking your science, calling it spookism, calling it Illuminati. And it's sad. But who is denying connection to Ruth, the Moabites, and who is not? by way of recognizing or not recognizing the origins of the great philosophies and wisdom found in the halls of learning called masonry. All my brothers and sisters, they swear they Hotep, they talk about their Egyptologists, and they don't even understand who King Menakaru is. They don't understand King Menakaru. When you see the left foot forward, when you see the skirt, when you see everything, that's all masonry. But you were uninitiated because brother get caught in spookism trying to tell somebody what it is and what it isn't. And I keep telling you, if you look on the hieroglyphics, if you're looking at the Egyptian alphabet, YHWH is in the Egyptian alphabet. I show you, brothers and sisters, this all day. That's the pantheon, but you get it twisted. If you look at my lectures, I show you the YHWH is in the Egyptian alphabet. Let me see, do I got it? Did I bring that with me? And I just threw it up. But I lectured on that the other day, and I say, brother, we getting caught up in the wrong thing. We trying to pick sides and don't understand every side is yours. You let somebody have you like you got to pick a side. And all wisdom comes from you, brothers and sisters. Let me see if I got this with me. If not, I'll just get back to it and I'll show you it at home when I get back to my, I thought I had it in this with me. I thought it because the brother, I wanted to show it to one of my brothers because there'd be so much misinformation brothers be giving, man. I'm like, where did you get that? Oh, I heard it. I said, see, you got to stop repeating stuff, regurgitating things. Because right under belief is a word called belie. Let me show you brothers this, and let me find it, because I want you brothers to research this. We be getting caught up in so much things, and I call it pageantry. We be getting caught up in stuff that don't even can do nothing for us, arguing about who some white man is and all that. If you follow me, I'll show you. They tell you who they are, but who are you? You worry about where somebody came from, and you still call yourself a black man, an African American. You still doing that, but you talking about who somebody else is. Talk about somebody, some hybrid. So damn what? Who are you? You don't even know. Man, I thought I had it. Let me see. Let me be patient because we in school. This is what school is about. It must be in my other text at home. But that's okay. I'll get back to this teaching. That's okay. I'm going to show you. I got it in my other studies. You look right in the hieroglyphics, the Egyptian alphabet. You have the YHWH. And people going around talking this craziness. I tell you, you got to research the study of Joseph and Anaset. You don't know. You don't know about the Hebrew God. You don't know. Because you getting caught up in spookism. But masonry is a system of disciplined learning, family. Moors is the pedigree and nationality of the direct descendants of the founders of the civilization and the ancient high science. Culture, Gnosticism, cosmology, alchemy, geometry, algebra, numerology, astrology, architecture, mathematics, philosophies, etc., from which Mason draws its wealth of knowledge, family. See, this is a science and a craft. Brothers don't want to learn. We just gravitate because somebody talking good, silver tongue, eloquently. We jump on it. Sad. We sad. That's why they laughing at us, because we don't know how to navigate. You still chattel. I don't care how much Egyptian stuff you wear. Who cares? Thus, masonry is the high culture, esoteric, and Gnostic system of learning Moor's history, science, and culture, literally and factually, which was forced underground and veiled in allegorical stories, mysticism, signs, and symbols. When I talk about the primordial man, when I talk about the jubilation of the secret Moor science, past and present, the word Palestine. When I say the Europeans, the masonry, the uninitiated brothers, when you see they wear their Fezz in Palestine, it's an adjective meaning secret, concealed, sly, underhanded, superstitious, accomplished by improper means or stealth, as a clandestine plan or act, seeking a benefit with fair, just, or proper compensation, participation or input, etc. Synonyms for the word Palestine include hidden, furtive, convert, etc. Palestine is derived from the old Moabite, Moor's Latin word, Callistinus. See? This is stuff we got to know, man. But we getting caught up in spookism and a person not telling you the truth and the history of things. We get out of that. We get into the truth. So I'm going to give a little bit of adapt lessons, then I got to get back to my job. I'll say, this is real, man. I'm blessed to be able to work for myself and have contracts to where I employ people and also I can employ myself. But every true and divine prophet must contend with the initial rejection and harsh treatment that our message almost always universally gets rejected at first, and never the message that the people desire to hear. Why? Because we've been programmed systematically with religious dogma. We want to gravitate to something so bad. But then you don't even want to gravitate to who you are. You gravitate to religious dogma. You're not a black man. You're not an African. You have a nationality and a name. Your nobility name takes you out of that jurisdiction. You don't change your name. Your last name is not a slave name. See? You don't understand about your coats of arms. You add your suffix, your nobility on it. In view of things, we have to say this. Of all knowledge, self-knowledge is important, but God knowledge is vitally important. One without knowledge of self is like a tree without roots. One without knowledge of God has yet to become a tree, family. See, we're not breaking the law. You listen to some Negro, some more talk about they're some sovereign citizen. Ain't no damn such thing, no sovereign citizen. You ain't nothing by yourself. That's what a nation is, organized nation. Gathering. You got to get out of spookism. This ain't nothing no get out of jail free card. This is understanding who you are. And so when you understand who you are, you can speak things into existence. You know how to navigate. You know civics. You know law. You know how to take yourself out of public and put yourself in private. I show you how to set up a living trust to protect your assets and your future assets. See, but you don't know. When I tell people about all rights reserved, when I tell you about certain things you can do to protect yourself, no spookism. You must know law. The rights of the indigenous people. You have the right of a nationality and a right to change it. This is United Nations law, but you getting caught up in spookism and don't understand it. But to take one in the place, one must of necessity be determined to act according to law. Only those that abide within the law-abiding citizens, can demand equal protection and application of the lawful directive to the body, the people and government, which are regulated by the law of the land and to which the law gives life. All others are criminals, aliens, undesirables, etc., and they exist outside the sheltering parameters of the law. They are considered outlaws, are classified and treated as enemies of the peace, and retain the bearers' rights under this Constitution. But you walking around thinking you know something. That's what's wrong with us. We know so much to understand and understand so little because we didn't get caught up in catchphrases. When somebody talking about internet, you got to be initiated. It's not a vile word. Neither is it an event, but rather a process of controlled growth and spiritual development and the unveiling or revealing of that which had been previously unknown. Someone have to get you there. You can't just sit at home and watch YouTube all day and watch some brother speaking from his religious perspective. And then you go regurgitate that crap. And then you look at their life. They're not even operating right. They're not even building. They're just talking. Most of these brothers got YouTube pages and brothers sending in money. Okay, but what you doing with it? See, I don't ask for a slug. All I ask for is support and share the message because I don't need money from my people. I'm trying to build. I want people to be assets. I want people to be stakeholders when you start donating money. When I have this big convention in Vegas, me and my brother Dale, when we have this convention, I'm showing brother about these 40 acres that we have, about how to build. We can have our own land and build things, our own school, our own temples. That's what I'm talking about. The brothers want to dress up and look like something and just watch YouTube and watch, oh, that brother heavy. I be telling brother, don't send me nothing from no brother to talk about you heavy if they don't want to listen and build. Because most brothers having pissing contests, and that's sad. But the eyes of he who knows the secrets of every heart knows those that work in sincerity and guides such in all the ways of life. But the insincere, the workers of darkness, and continually misled, confused, deceived by the very mist of darkness that envelops them. False doctrine. The philosophy of Moorish science is a productive confluence of Kemetite mysticism. When I talk about the Kemetic principles, when I talk about the Kabbalah mysteries, when I tell you things are spelled Kabbalistically to fuse you, to confuse you. The Baphomet is spelled Kabbalistically. Nothing scary. Eliseus Levi, that Baphomet, that's stolen. That come from that's off the wall of the hieroglyph of King Kementum. I might be pronouncing it Khutmen. I might be spelling it wrong. The god of the Nile River. So learning to so imply the divine faculties of the higher self through the instruction in the ancient wisdom by diligently study, practical application, and the suffering of prudence through a proper knowledge of law. Somebody got to get you there. And you got to be okay to be taught by your brother. Once capable of clearly distinguishing between the worst and the best parts of our being, it is of the greatest benefit to subdue those base or those baser instincts of the physical or lower self. The better man is inclined to yield to the illuminating wisdom of the divine properties. Come on, man. This is a science and a craft. We're not outlaws. The mystery of the silent brotherhood of the East, noble gathered and compiled. I be seeing so many of my so-called Egyptology brothers, y'all quote stuff from Europeans. I see brothers getting, oh, this the Celtic magic. I said, brother, that's more science. The Celtic just connotated and took your science and called it Celtic. Then I see, brother, the Hermetic principles. I said, brother, that's the Hermetic principles. It's connotated. The Greeks didn't discover nothing. If you follow my page, I did a whole lecture on a university college campus about those encyclopedias. I destroyed them. Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, talk about the Greek thought. The Greeks didn't do nothing. All of it came from Egypt. They studied in Egypt and they were killed. You got to understand this. All high Moor science. 18 years missing, the 18 missing years of the Most High life. That's why I tell you this is a study, this is a craft. I'm just going to touch on one thing. I'm going to touch on Yahshua received the mystic name and number and passed the first brotherhood test. So these are the things you have to know about when I say that circle and 7. Everybody understand the logos. Listen to me. The circle is the symbol of the perfect man, and the 7 is the number of the perfect man. The logos is the perfect word, that which creates, that which destroys, and that which saves. This Hebrew master is the logos of the Holy One, the circle of human race, the 7 of time. And in the record book, the scribe wrote down the logos, circle 7, and thus was Yahshua known. See, the master took down from the wall a scroll in which was written down the number and the name of every attribute, character. You see? And then I'll be seeing my Muslim brothers and my Imam brothers, because I have family, blood, that's Muslims. And then the brothers quoted Zechariah 5, talk about some Farrakhan and talk about some spaceships. I destroyed it, had them sick. I said, brother, stop misquoting stuff and getting caught up in somebody explaining the scripture to get you caught up in religious dogma. Zechariah 5, verse 1 to 6, is not about no spaceship. That's his written word. That's a squirrel written down on both sides. You got to understand etymology and linguistics and trace those words. Like when I tell you in Matthew, I think it's 5 and 17, or Matthew 10 and 5, where it says, I didn't come to change, I came to fulfill. In that context, it's a Greek word. That Greek word is poliro. It means to magnify, to bring back to remembrance, to illuminate, because those was preaching false doctrine back then. Those preachers, those Sadducees, those Pharisees, preaching false doctrine. But the master said, the logos will give heed to what I say. No man can enter into light till he have found himself. Go forth and search till you have found your soul and then return. Come on, man. That's why I tell brothers and sisters, you get the smaller degrees in the Moorish Science Temple. You get the smaller degrees in the Moorish Science Temple. I take you to the 99th primitive rite of Memphis and Mizraim. Man, I wish I had that in my other, because I wanted to show you that. I'll have to do that later in my lecture. When I show you in the Egyptian alphabet, the YHWH is there, the pantheon of gods. Brothers just don't want to share stuff with you because that's called program learning. They want you to be under their religious dogma. So later on today, I'm going to give a lecture about the difference of human and mankind. Human, you got to break down the word. You got to break down the adjective. You, man, that's a compound word. You means something, has something to deal with color. The only way to be a human, you must be a colored man. It's just facts. It's just science. Mankind is something different. You don't have to listen to me. I tell you all, research the researcher. I love you all. Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, health, wealth. Get out of spookism. Get into know. Come on, man. I challenge all my brothers with that spookism, with that brothers say they Scientology, brothers say they this and that and the other, but won't say who they are. Talk about everything and stuff that can't even do nothing to help you spiritually, to help you and your babies. We're talking about somebody else and what somebody else is and isn't, but you're not talking about who you are. You're not talking about operating total 720. You're not speaking on and researching how you can get yourself back to your rightful state and stand strong on your square. If we living in the last days, what you afraid of? Wake up and rise up. But we want to talk about what somebody else is. And we gonna tie up our day talking and arguing about what somebody else is. But who are you? That book is all about you, brothers and sisters. You're getting it twisted. You are a people. Hebrew, Moors, Egyptians, all one people. Copper colored races. You better get the 1828 Webster's Dictionary and look that up. They done dispersed you. They got you all dispersed you. That's why I tell you, Jerusalem and Egypt is right by each other, family. It's an hour walking distance. When they went to Egypt, when the Hebrew left Jerusalem, they went to Egypt first because there was a famine. In Egypt, you had two Hebrew pharaohs, Sabakos and Sipkos. I'm telling you, man, you got to do some research, man. I love you all. Shalom Alakim. Aya Asha Aya. Ashe, 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 Ashe. Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, health, wealth. You better navigate. You better navigate. Stand on your square. I, self, law, and master. Shalom Alakim.